think we have a power pack panel indeed. And if you look at maybe a decade back, influencer marketing was a very niche segment. Now it has kind of mainstreamed itself. But we're entering a new phase within that as well. And is it lasting? Will it be lasting? What are the challenges? How do you practice it? These are the conversations we'll have. Ruta, let me start with you. Raymond has kind of been a mainstream advertiser for the longest time, and then shifting gears and practicing a new approach altogether. And I'm sure, it takes time for a big organization to kind of, get attuned to that kind of an approach. Was it tough earlier? I mean, what is the story that you hear in the corridors? And have you really practiced that well? Is it delivering for you?
So, has it been tough at Raymond? No, I don't think so. I think uniquely because retail is at the heart of what we're doing, it becomes easy for us to integrate influencers into what we're doing on an ongoing basis, because it's a requirement. It's a necessity to dress yourself and to catch an influencer in that process. I think it brings with it that authenticity. I don't need to try and fit my product into their lives. My product exists in their life very, very simply. And a brand like Raymond, I don't need to also push my brand into their life. They're more than happy to be part of that exercise. So no, it's not really been tough from that perspective. Is it part of my mainstream media investments? Yes, absolutely. I think it helps a great deal because clothing and apparel is something very, very personal to our consumers, and to see the right kind of people using a brand that they would like to use and this is beyond Raymond, even my other brands like Color Plus, Park Avenue. I think it makes a big difference when the right kind of influencers are actually interacting with the brand. So yeah, I think as a starting point, that's where I am.
Right. Tarandeep, your brand operates in a category that is about experience. Tell me, how important, according to you, are parent creators and family influencers in shaping the decisions in your category? We can do away with
Good afternoon, everyone. So, my name is Taran. I represent KidZania. I head business for them. So, those who are aware about what KidZania is, we have two set of audiences. So, on one hand, there are parents, and on the other hand, there are children. Now, what we firmly believed over the years is the best influencer for a parent would be another parent. So, that is our primary philosophy, that we've built experiences in a way that parents become our influencers. So they've been doing that since day one. If those who have been to KidZania, you will see a parent is always in a good way shadowing the child. They are creating reels, they are posting it on social media or on their family WhatsApp groups. Because for parent to see a child become a pilot or a banker, of course it's a wow moment, it's an Instagrammable moment. So that is something which happens on an autonomous basis. Coming back to your question on the parent influencers. So for us, it is a very important part of our marketing strategy. We have a dedicated partner who helps us with influencers. On a monthly basis, we keep getting influencers, and whenever we do our new launches, we again partner with them. Only thing what we completely refrain from are paid influencers. So I've been with the brand for 8.5 years in 2 stints. During these 8.5 years, we've never done a single paid influencer. And we would have hosted about 10,000 influencers during this tenure. So of course, we host them, we give them tickets, we give them the F&B, and we don't even give them a script. So we are very particular, let's keep it real. We invite them. At times we just inform them that these are our new experiences, but we give them the freedom, because what we've realized, if it's faked, first children and parents, they easily come to know about it. So we refrain from that. We keep it very real, and that has worked very, very, very well for us, because these parents are the ones who will influence another parent. And today with the rise of influencers, we get so many DMs because fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of parents want their kids to become influencers, for which I have a very separate take. So we get, here is a kid influencer having 40K followers, etc. Please invite us for the launch. So there are a flush of content creators. Everybody wants to be a content creator. So in a way that works for us. We are happy to.
How do you deal with that, by the way?
Sorry?
How do you deal with that?
So we invite them. So we do not have any criteria that I will say no to an influencer. Only thing what we look at is the kind of content they put. If it's very frivolous, we will be a bit hesitant. Otherwise, for us, 10,000 followers hai ke 1 lakh followers hai, does not matter. So we believe it's the parent or the child community which we want to focus on, and not just how big or small the influencer is. So we let all of them feature. And I'll just take a moment. One superb case study was about this kid influencer. She's a very, very big influencer. She wanted to host a birthday party. हमें offer आया था that 5 lakh rupees and we will do the birthday party. We refrained. Okay, we didn't want to do anything paid. Eventually, we just hosted her birthday party and the content went viral. Of course, we've, I think till date got about 6 crore views on it. And it was a 30-minute long format YouTube video. So we stick to, let's keep it real, what our brand and experiences are. And that is where it has been helping us.
Jiteen, your category, B2B, how does the influencer marketing pan out in a B2B category? What is the dynamic like?
Okay, afternoon everybody. See, let me just kind of correct you. So while traditionally worldwide we have been a B2B category, in India we followed a different model. So we are a B2B2C model that we follow in India. So we reach out to the end consumers to a very large extent out here, right? So from that perspective, yes, the role of influencer marketing is quite pronounced in our category as well. Now, Hettich as a brand, if you look, it's a hardware brand, it's a furniture hardware brand. We are also into built-in appliances, door hardware, and furniture lights. But our brand is all about experience. Somebody has to experience us to understand what we are all about. Because at the end of the day, what you see outside is furniture. It's the motion. Okay, we set furniture into motion. So it's all about the experience. So unless somebody kind of, touches and tries us, it's very difficult to explain what the brand is all about. So while there's a lot of engineering involved, influencing, or the role of influencer becomes that much more important because there are times when you have, category experts, when you're talking about or design experts like the architects and the interior designers, right? And people kind of, go, they're credible sources and people kind of, go by what they say, right? Because they're supposed to be the experts. So when you kind of, onboard such kind of people as your influencers and they talk about the brand and the brand experiences and in terms of how it kind of changes the entire dynamics of your home, I think it kind of very well, kind of somewhere drive the consideration for the brand. So awareness is fine. You have your mainline channels and you have your digital play that you do to kind of build that awareness, but it's very important to drive that consideration. And that consideration happens when you have a credible source who talks about the brand. So from that point of view, we've been using a lot of these influencers extensively, but we're very, very choosy in terms of, because there's a certain kind of a imagery of the brand. So as a brand, we are a lifestyle brand, right? So we're very clear in terms of whether the brand persona and the persona of the influencer matches up. So very clearly in terms of, those are some of the, kind of caveats that we have that when we look at who do we choose as an influencer. But yes, we have been using influencers, in a wide, in a number of ways, right from, store launches to kind of experiencing a new product launch. So there's a lot of stuff that we are doing around the influencers, and I think it works pretty well for us because it builds a kind of credibility. Similarly, there's a carpenter community. Now, a carpenter community believes only people from their community, right? So you need to kind of onboard those kind of people who have a great following, right? And as well as for people who are technically sound. So from that point of view, carpenter again becomes a good influencer community for us.
Satarupa, right? I got it right? So let me bring you in this conversation and ask you that, how do you approach influencer marketing? Is it delivering for you? Something of that on that sort? Let's begin with that.
Okay, so first of all, it's just not influencer marketing that I would see is existing in the ecosystem. For us, it is more about bringing about the change, driving the category. And as market leaders in olive oils, Deoleo is market leader in India with Figaro and Bertolli olive oils. It is important that we as a brand, as an organization, take the lead in making the change. First and foremost, influencer is just one part of the ecosystem. It's just not a single part. It's not about making a choice between one or the other. We believe in a hybrid kind of a model where we use celebrities, where we use influencers, and also tie it up with a lower funnel of channelizing into our e-commerce or modern trade formats. Why we believe so in this kind of a model is largely because to move the category, to grow the category, you need scale, you need attention, and that is something celebrities can bring onto the table. Why we need influencers, or rather I would use creators in the ecosystem, because they demonstrate the use cases, which is extremely important in today's lifestyle to empower our consumers. And the last but not the least is how do we connect this to top funnel into the lower funnel of consideration and converting our consumers to actually making a purchase decision. So for me, it's just not one of a thing, and a collective of all.
Wonderful. I think over the years, the infra has of course evolved a lot. And now niche, when it comes to fashion, Ruta, to you, not only the traditional Bollywood celebs, but influencers, of course, drive that category. How do you decide when you are choosing on a creator that will represent your brand? What goes into the selection? If you have a Bollywood celeb and a creator, I mean, how do you really kind of bet on him or not bet on him or her?
So I'm lucky across my portfolio, I get to choose from a range of influencers. So I actually look after 5 brands. So I've got something for the young corporate hustler with Park Avenue. I've got Color Plus, which is more casual and a slightly more, easygoing but arrived gentleman. And then I've got Parks, which is at the younger end of the spectrum with a much younger, maybe first jobbers or just out of college kind of kids. And then there's the Raymond ready-to-wear business and the Raymond made-to-measure business. Now, each of these are at different places on a spectrum. So the selection really is from where the brand is really coming and who's the consumer for that brand. So if I look at made-to-measure, for example, I would typically take people who are from the corporate workforce or people who have their own businesses and they are actual consumers of made-to-measure. It's their journeys we talk about. It's why they select a brand like Raymond made-to-measure, because it's about their personalities, who they are. And I don't really go to celebrities for a brand like made-to-measure. It is people who use my brand who are actually the influencers in themselves. When I look at Color Plus, for example, I'm looking at people who are there to embrace life. So I don't just look at fashion influencers. I look at chefs, I look at photographers, I look at travel influencers and celebrities as well, but those who resonate with my brand. And my brand philosophy, which is about slowing down, which is about enjoying the finer moments of life. When I moved to Park Avenue, for example, it's a much younger audience. It's a much more performance audience. So I look at sports guys. I look at people who are, where you can feel that dynamism in who they are and how they look at the category. So it's a lot of fun. With Parks, we look at music as being central because you're looking at that much of a younger audience. With Raymond Ready to Wear, we have stayed clear right now. We allow the parent brand, the master brand, to look at the influencers there. And our Raymond shop has been using a range of influencers as well. And they are people who are really, in the process of shopping in the Raymond shop, where we actually go through that process with them. So yeah, I mean, I think the starting point has to be what the brand is about, what the consumer is about, and you select the influencer based on that. It's also very important that there has to be that alignment between my brand and that influencer. I cannot even think of, when there is a particular influencer in mind, there is no confusion in our heads at least, which of the 4 brands or which of the 5 brands he would, represent, because there is that very clear philosophy of what the brand stands for. So yeah, I think from an inside perspective, it's a fairly simple decision-making process, and we hope that that's what comes through to our audiences as well.
I want to stay on this question and come to you, Tarandeep. What filters, what is the approach that you take when you are deciding on who should represent your brand, who should be the influencer here? What are those broad metrics that you look at?
So like I shared, for us, the metric is simple, that what content they are posting shouldn't be frivolous. That's the only metric we look at. Because for us, how we look at this entire influencer marketing bit is, we focus on the community, rather onto the content creators. So for us, any parent who is a content creator, irrespective the number of followers, as long as the content they are posting connects to what we want to deliver, we are absolutely okay. Again, not a shameless plug. Yesterday we had the launch of a new experience at KidZania. And we had 53 content creators attending the launch. So, of course, they want to come, and what is happening positively for us, content creators also need experiences. So for us, luckily at KidZania, it's a win-win. They get good content which they can create because there are stories which they can share at KidZania. And for us, how we look at content creators is that they really amplify reach. And they will, to a level, build your consideration set. I don't know how many of you present here, if you can give me a raise of hands, aapne kuch kharida ho because of a content creator's reel, what you saw.
Anyone?
Anyone has done that?
Yeah, you
Through
can
a
raise your
reel?
hands if it is a mistake also.
Through a reel. No, it's possible.
Yeah.
Now, how many of you bought something after watching a long format video on YouTube by a content creator?
YouTube to skip के पीछे लग गए लोग कहाँ देखते हैं sir, I think. Anyone who really did that?
So again,
This guy here.
no. So it differs brand to brand, category to category. So I'm a, part-time worker, I say. Otherwise, I'm a passionate motorcyclist. I consume content like mad on motorcycles. So I've bought some accessories after watching the reels. 1,000 rupees, 1,500. I just buy it. There is a shopping link. I see it if it's good, if it helps me. But when I wanted to purchase my bike worth 20 lakhs, I know how much content, I would have swiped. There I'm looking at experts. I'm looking at those 45-minute videos, trying to understand what is happening, what is not. And that is the day when I realized there was one content creator which everybody used to say, wow. But then suddenly, वो content creator every helmet वो डालता था, this is the best helmet. So then, of course, in our community, I'm again coming back to the community, then we started realizing that we can watch his content for fun, because he does marvelous cinematographic shots. But then we don't know whether we can trust his review about the product, because every second helmet is the best helmet ever. So coming back, we focus on the community. There are no parameters other than if the content is frivolous or not. And we invite all mothers, kids. To my surprise, there are very less father content creators in the community.
Fathers,
so
please
mommy
note,
community is huge. It is huge.
Opportunity,
So that helps us.
the
That's an
opportunity lies there.
opportunity.
Wonderful. Similar, so how do you choose your influencers? Who are those guys? Yeah.
Sure. So I did mention about it, but still, see, we have different categories, furniture, fitting, door, hardware, appliances, and lights. Now, each of them basically has a certain degree of expertise. Not everybody can talk about everything. Yeah, your architects and interior designer are the ones who obviously understand the entire perspective, but then still there are intricacies, So for example, when we talk about appliances, you need chefs, you know people who actually work with this kind of appliances and who can tell you how easy is it to use with multiple appliances, and does that kind of, first of all, elevate your cooking experience, and does it give you your everyday dishes the way you want it? Because many a times, I mean, there is a kind of a belief system saying that appliances are only going to be used for some exotic stuff when you make, and not for your everyday food, right? So it's all about kind of busting that myth and taking the right set of people who can kind of communicate your storytelling out there. Then when we talk about furniture fittings, right? Or we talk about door hardware, we believe your interior designers or your architect, the guys who actually know what it means when it comes to your home decor, right? Because our products are all about adding to that entire piece of home decor. So I mean, you have different kind of products which will give different kind of motions, and one is in terms of the functionality that it provides, and the other is in terms of the aesthetics, right? So you're talking about people who understand functionality and aesthetics, and that's where you have to look at the right set of people. So, I mean, obviously we do a lot of research in terms of the kind of content that these guys create, because it's not that you can pick up anybody out there. Very important to understand the kind of content, the kind of, as I said, persona fit that it has with the brand. And finally, you see what is the kind of engagement and the follower base. So that's also something obviously we see, right, whether it generates that kind of reach for us or not. Finally, when you're coming to other communities like the carpenter community, which I was talking about, and these are the guys, many people who obviously can't onboard, an architect or designer, obviously look at a carpenter to build their homes for them, right? So obviously you need carpenters who can kind of advocate for you. So again, you look at carpenters who can obviously communicate properly, right? Carpenters who have the skill set and who can talk about how a particular brand is different from the others which are available in the market. So there are many criteria which go into selecting the right kind of influencer that you want. It all depends on the kind of objective that I have for myself, and then you'll find a perfect fit for that.
Satarupa, you have, say, 5 options: $1 million, $2 million, 10K, and a Bollywood celeb. I mean, how do you decide, who to bet on?
I think I partly answered it previously, but let me tackle it piece by piece. Let me first address the influencer piece. Influencers, I think the ecosystem or the landscape of influencers over a period of time has changed. Every influencer is not at par. We cannot expect the same delivery outcomes from each one of them. There are several segments of influencers: macro, nano, micro, all together. It depends on what objective you are expecting out of that campaign or always on kind of mode. Having said that, when I say the ecosystem has changed, the landscape has changed, I think from a transactional base, and something that Taran was talking about, that he was actually talking about this helmet, same helmet, everything, and it was very transactional. It doesn't relate to the audience, it didn't relate to you. From there, it has moved to a content creation kind of a mode, a creator model, which allows you a lot of flexibility, creativity, and collaboration. So our first port of call while choosing influencers goes into that creative and collaboration call. Second bit being, Figaro being a 100-year-old brand in India into olive oils has a very strong influencer in the consumer's household. Our mothers, grandmothers have been phenomenal word-of-mouth carrier for the brand. So our first set of influencers starts there. Added with digital creators who are kind of contemporizing, or making it way more modern, how it can be seamlessly be fit into the lifestyle. Having said that, this is one part of the ecosystem which I mentioned to gain the relativity, to gain to be more demonstrative for our consumers. But coming back to your question of a choice between celebrity and influencers, for me, I need it all, because I am looking at scale, I am looking at attention, I'm looking at growing the category. A celeb, and you will soon see, actually in a month's time, we have a very well-rounded campaign coming through, where we are actually enabling celebrity to bring about the scale, because our brand is loved across states, cities, and communities, And we believe the scale will come through celebs, and influencers will add on to it.
Great. Ruta, if you see now big fashion brands like yours, they are building their own creator communities instead of one-off campaigns with them. According to you, what does a long-term influence ecosystem look like for your brand?
So, in my experience, we are still doing capsules. We are still bringing in, influencer celebrities over a period of time. And that's because I also think the audiences are looking at something fresh from time to time. So in that sense, no, I really am not at this point looking at any long-term relationships with the influencers that I work with. Having said that, once again, I come to the part on alignment. When it first comes to paid versus unpaid, I don't have a problem paying influencers. I think the audiences are able to, of course, in a children's category, it's a little different, but in our category, our audiences are able to recognize that the creator is getting paid for what he's doing. For me, what's critical is the alignment. Would he really wear those clothes? And does the brand ethos really click with the kind of person he is? And I'm saying he because almost 90% of the influencers we work with are male. So no, I'm not really looking at longer term associations. I do, however, get onto platforms that could be more longer term. So we had Park Avenue at Lakme Fashion Week, and that gave us access to a huge number of influencers. We had influencers walking the ramp for us. We had influencers covering the event live. So that is something at a group level we have been going back to, because we found it, like Taran rightly said, influencers are also looking for experiences that they can bring out in their content, and that becomes a perfect platform while staying very close to fashion, which is what I have to offer. So yeah, those are things which are more long-term in nature for us. But no, influencers, I typically would look at capsules mostly around 3 months. It coincides with season as well for us. So yeah, it's more driven by that and more focused on the campaign at that particular point in time. Also with fashion changing from season to season, my focus changing from season to season, I normally look at what I have for the season and accordingly decide who fits best with what we have to offer.
Are you, Tarandeep, building your own community of creators? Is that happening? And what is the biggest pain point you have seen in influencer marketing when it comes to the kids category?
So we have a close set of mothers who are part of our WhatsApp groups.
Why not fathers, by the way? My question.
So unfortunately, there are a lot less fathers who've been into, as a father, they've been content creators. So surprisingly, it's filled with mothers. Of course, there are few fathers, but they are few in number. And so we have a strong WhatsApp group. And what we also prefer is that conversation should happen there. So like you rightly said, we are very clear, it's about sharing information, and they will probably increase the chances in the consideration set. So that helps us, and we've made few IPs. So every Mother's Day, we have an IP which we've created called KidZania Mommy Summit, where we call these leading mothers who are either entrepreneurs, or they are head-on-cos at various companies, or they could be content influencers. So this is a property which we've established, and the entire idea is again, to bring forth their achievement, because we firmly, and I personally also believe, managing home, work is no easy task, which of course, I'm riding and I'm doing my work, versus managing house and managing business is a task. So that is one platform what we've built. And I'll again come to, what Ritu added. We don't believe in having few influencers who will either become the face or will always be seen with KidZania. So influencers, content creators will come and go. We try to focus on the community. Let's keep that community intact. So that is very, very important. Then now we've seen over the last few years an increase of kid influencers. And I was at a panel, we had a event, India Kids Summit at KidZania, and there was a panel of influencers with mothers and children. I'll share this, that child has over millions of followers, 8-year-old girl. So first question was, why you are an influencer, what do you love? She's for the love of it, I like to post, I like to share, I share my experiences, good, cute answer. The next question was, what are you looking at? Her answer was very simple, 10 million in the next 1 year. So that for us, it was very startling. But again, we can't control that. As a brand, I am not a parent. So we have kid influencers also who reach out to us through their mothers mostly. So it's okay as long as they're putting good content. We are absolutely okay. And at the heart of it, I know when they come to KidZania, they will experience something real. I'm giving them good role plays where they learn, where they have fun. Now, how they put that content up is onto their creativity.
Guys, how many of you, who's your favorite influencer? Any names? Lots of youngsters, and even, I won't limit it to young ones only, even the ones who are there on this side. Yes, anyone? Any names? Who are the most popular influencers according to you? Give me 2 names. Rashomani. Okay. Yes? Guys, you guys are on Insta born. Ankur Wariku, youngsters follow him, right? Yeah. Yeah, the finance and management. Wow. Okay. So do you guys watch more Insta, or do you guys watch more TV, or, what really influences you? I'm just trying to figure out. Insta. Everyone is here, Insta. Right. Taran, this is a question for all of you. Do you think influencer, we have just limited it to maybe a platform? Has it come down to be a platform identity, or we have to see it like a cross-platform? Like when we say influencer, Insta comes to mind. Do you think that has happened in this category? Is it good or bad if it has happened? Any answers?
So my take is, again, if you're looking for reach, Insta is a platform. Okay, and long format typically works, where the purchase value will be much higher, and also where the category is to build trust. So that depends. And like, we had Ruta who was sharing. Personally, and I'm sure all of you would agree, we are okay when an influencer content creator is telling us this is a paid affiliation. Yeah. So that we are okay. But as long as there is trust and they show honesty in the video, it works for us. So again, I keep circling back, you have to respect the community. Influencer aayenge jayenge, so she follows Ankur.
One more brief I've seen sometimes, influencers have to put the brand, they have to verbally say it. Why are we in your face? Why can't it be just like, why do you mandate them that iska naam lena hi hai?
I told you in the very beginning, we personally don't mandate it. And I'm sure a lot of brands, it will depend brand to brand, category to category. But audiences are very smart. They catch something which is manufactured, which is fake. Fake enthusiasm pehle dikh jata hai reel pe. And they will then just do another doom scrolling. So I think audiences are smart. We are okay. You can show these are paid partnerships. And a lot of influencers and brands are also wary about it. So that will continue to emerge. As long as you're being truthful to the community, they will follow your content, they will get their bits, whatever they want to. And I look at micro, nano, Insta as a reach platform. Yeah. I don't even expect that through those reels I'm going to get any conversions. Absolutely. So I'm very clear, it's reach. 53 influencers, they've posted about our new experience, what's the total reach we've got. So then we are very clear with our object.
To answer that, there were 2 questions you asked. One on the platform itself, And second is why the brands are so in your face in influencer work. So I'll take the second question first. When I'm using an influencer, I'm trying to tell my consumer that this is the lifestyle my brand fits into. So for me, it's more important to showcase that lifestyle and then bring in, of course, that he's dressed in my clothes. So if I start with the brand in that scenario, it's counterintuitive. So when I go to a chef, when I go to a travel influencer, what I'm trying to say is this lifestyle will find Color Plus fit in beautifully. So if that's your lifestyle, maybe Color Plus is something you want to look at. And so for me, the brand comes second, and since he's wearing it, it becomes that much easier.
If he's wearing it, it's there. So why say it? You know?
So it's a lot easier because my product is part of the influencer I used, right, at that point. As far as platforms are concerned, yes, of course, Insta and Meta is first thing that comes to mind when you're looking at influencers. But depending on what you're doing, and with YouTube and long form, there is a lot that can be done there. Integrating between the platforms. Also, if you have something on YouTube and then what you put onto Meta from what you've created for YouTube, Meta itself has so many opportunities to explore if you're looking at influencers on Meta. So the platform to me really just helps, because that's where the consumer is. It's not about the marketer or the media person at all.
Right.
My consumers are on YouTube and Meta. I need to be on YouTube and Meta. I think that there's nothing else to explain that, really.
So Jiteen and then Satarupa, which platforms really deliver for you? And why would you say those?
So let me tell you, we have been both into short form and long form content, right? So short form content, obviously Instagram is the go-to platform because obviously it gives you that virality that you want, the reach that you want. I mean that's the matrix by which that your platform plays in. But when you're looking for a more depth in terms of the content, you're looking at more, relevant content. You're looking at something where you really need to explain it. I mean, that's where your long form content comes into play, and that's where we go to YouTube as a go-to platform, right? So there's a clear demarcation which we've done in terms of which platform will deliver what. Right, and we've seen that. So we have an IP which says Living with Magic, which is a long format content wherein we kind of get, architects and designers to discuss on various topics related to home decor, and that's where we basically get into long format content and dive deeper into it. But when it's all about a product launch, it's about a store launch, when you need a walkthrough kind of thing. I mean, a go-to platform is Instagram, right? Because it gives you that kind of reach, the impressions that you need. So. And again, and then we have another facet which is about the e-commerce part of it. Now, we also have an e-shop, and there too we go on Instagram because, the point is again to, educate or to kind of inform people about the fact that you have an e-shop and all these products are listed on e-shop. So Instagram again becomes like a go-to platform. So it again depends upon what your objective is, and then you decide the platform accordingly.
So regardless of the format, I think while dashboards, KPIs, measurements are like short-term positives, for a brand, what is meaningful is how we can build a cultural influence. And formats actually should be chosen basis the objective the brand is trying to achieve. While there is both relevance of short and long format content over a period of time. But if I am chasing building a brand, building a cultural influence, I will look into long-term goals. I think media formats and media fraternity should more and more recognize the importance of cultural influence to build a brand and make that impact in consumers' life than always chasing short-term dashboards.
Wonderful. I think, so there is a playbook, of course, to, every approach when it comes to influencer marketing. Of course, there will be a science behind it that works. According to you, Ruta, what are those elements that make influencer marketing really great, impactful, quickly?
I think trust is number one, because when you're going to an influencer, you're going with that agenda that his followers, his viewers believe what he's saying. So for me, trust is paramount when I'm looking at influencers. Alignment with the brand, alignment with his lifestyle, and therefore trust is critical for me.
Taran, let me ask you this. I mean, my personal query also. You buy likes, you buy people. I mean, you not you. I mean, people buy likes, people buy shares. How do we build that trust in this game?
Actually, a cute answer. Again, shameless plug is. So at KidZania also we have a B2B side, where brands come and create experiences. Now, one reason how we actually sell this experience is because those partners understand who want to build trust. At KidZania, when they come in, what happens is all the customers become the influencers. So actually, they've created a 30-minute experience where children, parents enter, and they become influencers. These are micro-influencers because they are living your brand. So coming back to your question, when I look at influencers, we are very clear that, it has to be, one is authentic, which I'm sure everybody looks into it, and relatable. So I personally don't see any influencer perfect hone wala hai. As long as they are relatable, okay, it works. And then I circle back, if they are reaching out to our community, they are a big tick mark. So let's preserve the community. All the rest will follow.
Jiteen, in your category, what is the success formula?
So, I mean, I agree with my panelists. The trust obviously is becoming the number one. The people
Platform.
yeah, consumers have become extremely smart. They can really make out the same guy is promoting 2 or 3 different brands, the same product. They can make out. It's complete commercialization which is happening right now. Consumers want to see lived experiences. They believe people who have actually kind of used the brand, or whom they can kind of relate to, resonate with it. I think authenticity, again, is a new currency, as I believe, as far as influencer marketing is concerned. People want authenticity, and that is why they believe their community is much more than they believe a paid influencer today, right? So, I mean, the entire thing for a brand is how do you balance your KPIs, so you have your KPIs, but at the same time, how do you build this long-term trust? So that's the question which a marketer today is trying to answer.
Satarupa, what should marketers avoid to do good influencer marketing according to 2 things?
I think marketers should definitely avoid chasing a face just for the sake of it. Rather, marry it with the ethos of the brand. Many a times at the when we do not have a lot of choice, or when we want a lot of attention, we just chase a face. Hey, why don't you promote this brand or product per se? I think that shouldn't be done at all, because it, as my panelists mentioned, authenticity, trust, everything gets compromised. It works best when the brand ethos, the brand's, like for my Figaro, it's a multi-purpose olive oil. I cannot lean on someone who is just restrictive and fixated in one kind of a proposition. I would reach out to influencers or content creators or celebs who have the similar ethos of multi-talent, multi-purpose, and then it becomes an overall message delivery, believability, and relativity is taken care of.
Amazing. I think that's it. We are done with this. But yeah, I mean, faces, when you mention don't look at face, but unfortunately, in our marketing world, overall, unless you have a Bollywood guy, nothing will go. And how do we deal with it? How will it pan out is a conversation for another day. But that is a fact also, When Ranbir Kapoor or Ranveer Singh says something, it matters. If somebody very authentic says it, doesn't matter. But maybe we are on our way to a different world. All right, I think that's my gyan. Over to you. Yes.